We've had over a week, maybe not over, we've had a week to test out Talene and see what she's all about. And me personally, she is by far my favorite Celestial or Hypogean hero, but that doesn't mean she's the best one, and definitely not one everybody should build. She has a very unique playstyle that I really enjoy, and the teams you build around here are kind of fun too. So we're going to be going over where she ranks in a bunch of different game modes because, well, she's really good in some game modes, really kind of bad against certain scenarios, and we're gonna go over exactly how she ranks. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. So what makes this hero very unique is she is kind of like a damage dealer that also can help side heal, like off heal on your team. She surprisingly does a decent amount of damage even when not using her ultimate that I found in PvP. She's been doing really well, but essentially as she loses HP, she's going to restore HP to the weakest ally. As she restores HP, she's going to unleash extra damage to the healthiest enemy. So certain scenarios and bosses she does very, very well here. She has the ability, of course, to just revive whenever she dies after she receives a certain amount of healing and stuff like that. She increases her own attack. She has the ability to make one of her allies revive in the right scenario. And her season ability makes her get to her first ultimate very, very quickly. Her ultimate is amazing because it literally just channels this giant, massive AoE 5 tiles wide and deep that does a ton of damage based on her energy and her HP, and it just gets really out of control. So where does she actually rank here? You guys can see I enjoy this hero so much, I'm literally gonna go for plus 25 on her. I highly recommend you do not do that. Now, she's a unique one where you don't really even need to go too far up into her Pyre of Renewal Mythic Plus. If you do want that revive on one of your allies, you are going to have to go to plus 15, which kind of sucks that they do put it there. But that is one downside. She is, of course, a mage. She's a damage dealer, which doesn't synergize very well with the magic charms because, as you guys know, it increases the damage up by 20% and gains 20 execution for 5 seconds after casting your ultimate. That's normally good, but you also recover 250 energy after casting the ultimate. Usually the only way she stops casting her ultimate is she's dead. Now it is kind of nice that if she gets interrupted by CC or something, she does gain these extra effects and then she gets this again for 5 seconds. But a lot of the times that we're using her, she's basically 10 seconds into the battle using her ultimate and never dropping her ultimate. So most of this doesn't come into play. Now, where is she amazing? Where is she kind of iffy? This is one hero I'd actually give like a grade of S even before getting her to Mythic Plus, because her main kit is right here. You don't need to go to Mythic Plus, you don't need to go to Supreme Plus. Her actual kit is there way before you even get her exclusive. When you get her exclusive, she's still kind of the same tier. She's like S, maybe S plus. I don't even know if I'd call her S plus there. I'd have to say she's probably like an S tier overall whenever she gets it. And as far as deficit pushing, again, she's still very, very good, but it's hard to beat those heroes like Smokey and Mirky that are doing their damage based on percentage of enemy HP, whereas hers is based on her HP loss and things like that. So as time goes on, your hero gets stronger, gets more HP. That can play a role, but I think overall, as far as like AFK battle, story, things like these right here, deficit pushing, all those, I think she's just a solid S tier across the board for these game modes. I don't think you need to go very far investment in her to get a really big bang for your buck, but remember, she is a damage dealer, so the higher you do build her up, the more damage she'll provide and fill her role better and also be like an off healer. Next up, let's talk about Dream Realm. She's actually really good against certain bosses, not so much against other ones. Let's go down the list and kind of talk about it here. Alpha Bear, a lot of people have been ranking her versus the Alpha Bear very, very low. I've been doing some testing off videos with Vulcan and stuff, and she's actually been doing pretty solid as a replacement. We actually have Alpha Bear up today. Most people are using this type of lineup. Me and Vulcan were actually testing though, dropping Freyasto for Talene, and the damage wasn't that much different. You can see right here with my Freyasto, I did almost 38 billion. We were doing about 35, 36 billion with Talene as a supplement to Freyasto. So not like as bad as I would say. I'd probably give her at least an A tier, maybe a regular S tier for Alpha Bear. Skyclops, she is an S plus. She does absolutely amazing there. Same with King Croaker. She does absolutely amazing against King Croaker as well. S plus, one of the best you can actually use right there. The only one I would say she doesn't do great at is probably Snowstomper. I mean, maybe an A tier, maybe even bump it down to the B, because you have to remember Snowstomper silences enemies and we want to cast our ultimate constantly. Granted, that's where her other abilities come in and she still does a pretty decent amount of damage, so still pretty solid. Necrodraken, she's actually still a very solid damage dealer as S tier / off healer. If you're running like her plus Reinir with your normal damage dealing team, can work pretty good, because again, remember, she does have some off healing plus the magic charms from Reinir and stuff. You can kind of keep your team going pretty well. It's not the best of the best, but it is pretty good. And then the last one, Lone Gaze, she's like S plus against Lone Gaze too. She's like part of one of the best team setups. She's very amazing. So out of these 6, she's S plus probably on 3 of them, S tier on 2 of them, and then kind of sucky-ish on one of them, which when I say sucky, I mean like maybe B tier. But it really depends, because again, Alpha Bear she can do very amazing on, but that's the one a lot of people rank her very, very low in. But I think she's still pretty good as far as like our testing went with Vulcan. Now, there are, of course, other game modes, Supreme, we got Duros, all those things. Those are kind of like side events. The only other one that I really consider talking about is PvP and Arena. And honestly, I have to give her another rank S+. Now, you guys have seen me use her personally. It's been hit or miss. We've actually been doing a lot of tweaking on our team setups here. This is one that I found to be one of my best, and really the only thing you lose to occasionally is like a DNL team. But even when you get up to the super high ranks, when you're using that DNL mirror match, adding a Talene in there to get more revives keeps the game going longer and seems to be a really cool way of going about it. I've seen a bunch of different teams using her. I know there's probably some people saying you don't necessarily need her, but me personally, the way that she works and the way she revives so much, I've just had so much success with her overall. I think I can even show you some of like these battles, people hitting me right here. So you can see this is a pretty typical team with Scarlita in here and everything. She's been overwhelmingly good. Remember, we are the team on the bottom here. We've just been doing really, really good against this. Yes, they usually nuke her down, and you can see down here she dies quite often, but the fact she can basically revive and keep chain casting that ability is good. You can see right there, that's the one reason why Scarlita can be so good in PvP right now, is because she can literally just yeet Talene off the battlefield so she can't keep reviving. But I've seen this hero combination be very, very good. I think she's probably S tier here as well. And if I had to give like an overall score for her, man, probably just a solid S tier. She's not the best of the best. I mean, like Smokey and Mirky get those S's across the board. Freesto, Reinir, they all get S's across the board. Same with Coco. I think she's a solid S tier, so she's just below the best of the best heroes. But again, you have to remember the investment I have in her. It's not necessary to get her entire kit. Her entire kit is there from a single copy, which is really cool. She just gets some bonuses as you level her up. Now, should you build her? I'm gonna tell you, go reference earlier today's video. We actually talked specifically about who's better to build after Reinir and M+, her, Scarlita, Freesto. Quick spoiler, it's not her, so go check out that video. She can be very good. She's not necessary, but she can fill so many different roles. She does really awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. If you agree or disagree on anything, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.